Welcome to the Pushback Network. Today, we are reporting on a story that has quietly gone under the radar that corporate and legacy media refuse to report on. We here at Pushback Network are not answerable to boardroom executives who will tell us what to report on. So we are bringing you these stories. Please like, share, and most importantly, subscribe to this channel so that anytime we put out a new story, you are notified. This is a story about how Donald Trump has secretly reached out to Elon Musk. As we all must know by now, Donald Trump is an epitome of pettiness. He holds on to grudges or slights from over 30 years ago. Ask Rossi O'Donnell. He never forgives once he thinks you've wronged him. Again, ask former FBI Director James Comey or his former National Security Advisor John Bolton. All of these people never did or said anything remotely as dangerous to Trump like Elon Musk did. Yet, for someone that is known never to let go of a grudge, it has been reported that Trump has secretly reached out to Elon Musk in an effort to patch things up, despite the fact that Musk publicly said things about Trump connections to the Jeffrey Epstein child abuse sex scandal that no one in America dared to say. In the feud between both men, Trump didn't wait for Elon Musk to come to him. He called the meeting himself. A secret closed-door session arranged quietly. No press, no leaks. Why? Because Musk holds something Trump cannot afford to see in daylight. This was further made evident during the Charlie Kirk's memorial in Glendale, Arizona, when it is being reported that once Trump heard that Elon Musk was in attendance, he sent word to Elon Musk handlers to have him up with him in the presidential booth. A few media outlets got the footage of both men cozying up together at the event as Trump warmly taps Musk on the knee as if to reassure him that he is back in the fold. You may wonder, why would Trump forgive Musk after publicly humiliated the president? Well, the answer is simple. When Musk sat atop the Department of Government Efficiency, also referred to as DOGE, Musk got glimpses of documents, communications, files that tied Trump far closer to Jeffrey Epstein than the public has ever seen or heard, and now Trump is scrambling to keep Musk sweet. To make good with Musk before Musk goes public, it is that simple. Nothing more. Nothing less. Let's talk about the pattern. This isn't new. This is the Trump playbook. From the very start of his career, he's followed the same model. Surround yourself with protectors, legal pit bulls, media brawlers, judges, billionaires. Give them power. Give them proximity. Then use them as shields. Trump learned it from Roy Cohn, the ruthless New York lawyer who taught young Donald as he was navigating the real estate world in New York, never to back down, never admit guilt, always attack the accuser, and always use the law as a weapon. That was Trump's apprenticeship, and it shows now he has perfected it more than anyone in America. Now let's look at Trump's shields mechanism. Fast forward 4 decades later. The names change, but the pattern never does. In steps Alex Acosta, the man who handed Epstein his sweetheart deal, giving the pedophile Epstein only an 18-month jail time, where Epstein only had to report to sleep in the jail in the evening and is promptly released every morning to go about his business and abusing thousands of other underage girls. Surprisingly, or perhaps not so surprisingly, Trump elevated this very Alex Acosta to his cabinet when he became president in 2016. Has anyone ever asked, out of everyone available, it is the very prosecutor that gave Epstein this sweetheart deal that Trump decided to promote?
Now, it's very clear that Alex Acosta ran a deeply flawed investigation of the Epstein case. That's clear. He also would not admit that Mr. Epstein received a sweetheart deal, which has been widely reported and agreed upon since that deal was actually made by Mr. Acosta and his team. So he would not admit, and in fact stands by the decision to have given Mr. Epstein a sweetheart deal, which was only 18 months, and which during that time he went on to abuse multiple women that he raped during that time, when he was supposed to, of course, have been in jail. In his questioning, he also agreed and stood by those decisions and would not claim any responsibility to the victims, and in fact said, and was admitted that he had no knowledge of what happened to those victims, even to this day. When asked directly if he actually knew that people were being abused, that women were abused during that time, he would not admit that he knew that information and actually refused to acknowledge the victim.
Think about the responsibility that is upon a prosecutor to go after a child predator and then to say, well, at the end of the day, we don't think they would have been believed. As someone who has been in these courtrooms, who has had to defend against these very types of cases, let me tell you something. And I did try to educate him on the experts that we have that can lay out whether or not a child has any inconsistencies as it relates to the trauma that they have experienced. It doesn't seem like either Mr. Acosta was equipped to be the U.S. attorney at that time, or he's just playing in our faces. I haven't really figured out which one, but neither one of these ultimate conclusions.
How about Pam Bondi? Another one that has connection to the Epstein deal, also promoted by Trump in 2025 to head the Department of Justice. Why her? Recall, Bondi teased us all about the Epstein files sitting right on her desk, and then staged theatrics when it came time to deliver.
This is something Donald Trump has talked about. The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump.
But just a few short months later, and sitting next to President Trump, Bondi tune has suddenly changed. Now she denied ever saying they had an Epstein client list sitting on her desk that she earlier told the general public she was going to release. How do these people get away with these lies?
In February, I did an interview on Fox, and it's been getting a lot of attention because I said, I was asked a question about the client list, and my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file along with the JFK, MLK files as well. That's what I meant by that. Also, to the tens of thousands of video, they turned out to be child porn downloaded by that disgusting Jeffrey Epstein. Child porn is what they were. Never going to be released, never going to see the light of day. To him being an agent, I have no knowledge about that. We can get back to you on that. And the minute missing from the video, we released the video showing definitively the video was not conclusive, but the evidence prior to it was showing he committed suicide. And what was on that, there was a minute that was off the counter. And what we learned from Bureau of Prisons was every year, every night, they redo that video. It's old, from like 1999. So every night the video is reset, and every night should have the same minute missing. So we're looking for that video to release that as well, showing that a minute is missing every night. And that's it on Epstein.
How about Kash Patel, who shouted from rooftops about releasing Epstein records, then fell silent once Trump elevated him to FBI director? Let's talk about Dan Bongino, another who promised disclosure, raved and ranted in his podcast about how they will bring all the pedophiles down once Trump got into power. He got the position of deputy FBI director. Then suddenly, Bongino faded when he stepped into federal law enforcement ranks, where he could actually do something as opposed to ranting as a podcaster. Is anyone seeing a pattern here? The most vocal critics got elevated, and the moment they are in position to actually do something, they go silent. What is happening in our country? Is this the deep state they talk about? And then there is Alan Weisselberg, Trump's loyal financial man. Who went to prison for Trump's fraud schemes while still being paid millions to stay quiet? Now, let's look at the classified document case in Florida. Trump's shielding didn't stop there. It reminds me of a scene in the Games of Thrones when a bodyguard shouted, "Protect your queen," and everyone sprung into action and formed a shield around the queen. At Mar-a-Lago, lawyers and butlers moved classified documents before the FBI raid. Eileen Cannon, the Florida judge, bent timelines to buy Trump breathing space. And Trump's has now stacked Supreme Court to the point that nothing can ever happen to him. The Supreme Court, the shield of last resort, is sitting there, patiently, and waits to protect him no matter how brazen the crime. What about the election lawyers? Does anyone still remember them? Sidney Powell, Kenneth Chesebro, Jenna Ellis, Lynn Wood, Rudy Giuliani. They tried to flip an election for Trump. They lied in courtrooms. They spread conspiracies. And when prosecutors closed in, they took pleas deals. They took sanctions. They took the fall. Also, Trump wouldn't have to. Non-Trump's endless perfect wall, and everywhere you look, the pattern repeats. Trump surrounds himself with people who can shield him from exposure. They take the heat, the sanctions, the prison time. He pays them off, praises them, uses them as walls. And when they're no longer useful, he discards them. That's how it worked with Roy Cohn, with Cohen years later, with Acosta, with Patel, with Weisselberg, with Powell, Cheesebro, Ellis, Giuliani, with the Mar-a-Lago staff who moved boxes, with the judges he leans on, with the justices he installed, one after another, shield after shield, each disposable. The questions begs an answer. Is it Musk's turn now to be used and also promptly discarded like the others? Trump's entreaties, his private outreach, his sudden charm offensive. It isn't friendship. It isn't vision. It's desperation. This is about containment. Keep Musk on side. Keep him sweet. Keep him from talking. Musk accepts. He stops being a disruptor and becomes just another tile in Trump's mosaic of silence. Another shield standing between Trump and the truth about Epstein, about the stolen documents, about the fraud and the power games, and history shows what happens to Trump's shields. They're rewarded for a while, then discarded when the damage is done. Musk isn't different. He's just next. Musk better be warned. Pushback Network is a new and independent media that was forced into this space because of corporate and legacy media not doing their jobs. We are fighting with one hand tied behind our backs, so the only way we can build this community is with your help and support to continue to grow, so that we can continue to bring you these stories that corporate media are too weak to report on. Please share this story, like, and most importantly, subscribe to this channel. This would help us with the algorithm so that more people can hear our voice, because we are being suppressed. Don't be intimidated. Raise your voices against authoritarianism. Stand firm, and let the pushback begin now. Otherwise, we will lose our democracy. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.